Welcome to the Utah PTA Pulse Podcast. I'm Cammie Whitchurch, the Community Engagement Commissioner, and to my left, your right.
I'm Angela Ado, the Family Life Commissioner, and we have a guest today.
Woo-hoo.
I'm Amy Warren. I'm the Utah PTA Resolution Specialist. That's what my job is, right?
Yeah. And we'll excuse Mike today. He's not feeling well. He helped us with all the tech and everything, and he's just kind of taking a break right now because he's not feeling well. So.
Yep. Get better soon.
Yeah, ain't no time to be sick.
Mm-mm.
It's sick season right now, and I hate it.
Yes, it goes around.
So,
I've had sick kids for the last 4 weeks.
Seriously, like, it's just like this revolving door of sickness. And I'm like...
Wash your hands.
Well, on Monday, I was so excited because I thought all my kids were going to go to school, and then one of them stayed home, and I was like, no, I'm going to kill you.
Well, and then they stay home, and an hour later, they're just, like, jumping off the wall. And I'm like, why are you home? Go to school.
Yeah.
Go away.
And then I'm like, do you want to go to school now? No, I don't feel good again. Like,
can I have a piece of cake?
No. I remember my mom used to make it, like, miserable. Like, if you're home, you're in bed.
I'm horrible. If I doubt that they need to be home, I'm like, no screens.
Yeah. Yep.
But then if I know they need to be at home, like she had pink eye, I was like, you can have screens all day. It's fine. Don't move. Don't move.
Please don't touch anything.
This is your spot. You are not allowed to move from the spot.
Don't touch anything.
Well, my 8-year-old, he has always been like a master negotiator, so he figures out a way to stay home, and I'm like, why have I not figured it out? Like, and then my 5-year-old, he's almost 6, but he has kind of been the same way too. So Amy, we always start every episode with a fun question. It's not hard. Okay. Well, actually, today's is hard.
Just kidding.
If you could have a lifetime supply of anything, what would it be?
Sleep.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Of anything. Like, it doesn't have to be food, or can I just have a lifetime supply of money?
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
Disneyland tickets and airplane tickets, like Disneyland and World, Disney Cruise.
Just airline tickets. Then you could go anywhere.
That'd be good, too. I thought of food only.
That was my initial thing. And then when she said sleep, I thought, what? Oh, we can broaden our horizons a little.
My initial thought was Diet Coke, but I already have one.
That's a good, too.
What food?
I don't know. I never thought of a food. I just was like, what food would I always want to have on hand? Or,
but I feel like you'd get sick of it if you always had it.
I know. Maybe I want a lifetime supply of cleaning ladies.
Yeah.
I would love that.
That's it. Yeah. That's the one.
Or someone to just cook for me. I would like a lifetime supply cook.
A chef?
Can I have that? Yeah. A chef that just lives at my house and always makes dinner.
I would just love the cleaning.
I think cleaning lady wins.
Mm-hmm.
Or man. I mean, it could be cleaning man.
Cleaning man.
Somebody clean the house. It could be the robot from the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2024, man.
I know. Why did we not have the robot from Jetsons?
Well, apparently Elon Musk is selling robots now, so apparently you can buy one. I don't know what it does, but...
I'll talk to Elon Musk.
Yeah. Maybe we could get him for our podcast.
I'm sure he wants to be on the Utah PTA Pulse podcast. I'll give him a call.
All right. She's going to do that for her community engagement. She's going to reach out to Elon Musk.
Anyone else you want me to try and get? Let me know.
We always, like, every time we're driving, we're like, how many Teslas can you see today? Like,
yes.
My daughter has decided that, like, the normal Tesla, not the Cybertrucks, but, like, the normal Tesla cars, next time you look at them, they're Voldemort cars. Like, she said that when I was, like, standing in front of one, and I was like, you're not wrong, man.
Really? They look like Voldemort?
Yeah. She decided this on safety patrol. She was like, I had to stare at one, and I was like, we're like, it looks like Voldemort.
Okay, now I'm going to have to see. Looking it up, right?
I don't see it, but maybe I got to just look at a whole bunch of pictures. I do love that in some of the models, they have this, like, beautiful, like, you can see through right here to the, like, sky and stuff, and it's, like, so pretty. Like, it's so pretty. It gets bright, so you can buy, like, a cover, and sometimes it gets warm and whatnot, but I'm like, yeah, this is really
I need, like,
nice.
a head-on view, and they keep doing it at an angle.
You definitely have to look straight ahead on to get the Voldemort vibe.
Well, maybe that's why they don't have the head-on pictures.
I know, because they don't want people to see Voldemort.
But she's also 10 and obsessed with Harry Potter, so...
Does that look like Voldemort? Kind of not. I mean, I guess I get like the nostril thing, maybe.
I don't know.
All right, guys, look at a Tesla. See what you think. This is not sponsored by Tesla.
Or Harry Potter.
Or Harry Potter. Or Elon Musk, for that matter. Oh, wait, here's one. What about that one?
I don't know.
No, that one like looks like a big mouth, like a Muppet.
I don't know. But,
right. Okay.
like, in real life, it does kind of.
Okay. I'm going to watch next time.
I know. Now I see them all the time by my house, so...
Okay.
Like, everywhere we go, I'm like, there's a Tesla. There's the Cybertruck. Ugh.
We have someone coming to one of our house reps is coming to our trunk or treat. And I had to send him a text message and say, hey, we're real excited to see you. Please remember that there's no campaigning. This is a PTA event. No campaign material can be distributed. And he sent me back. He's like, I'm just really excited to decorate my Cybertruck. I was like, cool.
Okay.
You do that. Thank you. I'm so glad he's coming.
Willing to be there. Yeah.
I'm really excited he's coming. I really, really am.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, I got to be careful because like
you better
rules.
make sure in advance.
501c3 rules, guys.
Yep.
So how did you get him to come? Like, did you guys just ask him? Or?
So last year was the first year we've done a trunk or treat. And the neighborhood across the street was like, excuse me, we used that parking lot that day for our trunk or treat. And it's like, well, sorry, we get priority. We're the school. Well, we're the PTA. Like, and one of the teachers lives across the street in that neighborhood. And she was like, well, can we do a combined thing? And we're like, okay, this is the first time we've done this. We're not ready to like do a combined thing, but like, you're welcome to invite your community. So we did that again this year. We were like, oh, we can do it combined now. We're ready to do that a little more. Because went way well. Really well. And so we're like, this is going to be an annual thing. And so she sent it out in her community page. And like, along with the Sign Up Genius to sign up for a car. So I was checking the Sign Up Genius. I was like, oh, I'm just going to double check with him. And he had just come, it was, you know how USB did their take a legislator to school week. So our legislator came the next week. And it was like the day he had come to visit that we sent out the flyer with the Sign Up Genius. And so it was like, oh, okay.
Awesome. That's cool.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I think it's cool that they're getting involved in the school.
Me too.
Hopefully that means that they'll be good to education in a couple months.
Yeah, and I think hopefully it helps them see some of the results of bills, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. Invite them. I think sometimes we forget to even extend that invitation.
And I hadn't even thought about it because he had come to our school board meeting. That's the word I was looking for. And I saw him there, and this was the day before. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, because we were also doing our fun run while he was there. We're like, cool. And
I thought, kind of cool. He got to see like some different things going on.
He didn't actually come out during the fun run. Well, they kind of focused inside, but I was like, I still told him what was happening. And I was sitting there, because he was sitting in front of me, and I was like, I should invite him to the trunk or treat. And I was like, well, he's also campaigning right now, so that gets a little iffy. And so I didn't, and then he signed up himself. So I was excited.
You guys were on the same wavelength a little bit.
Well, also, let's be careful.
Yeah. I think that's a good reminder, especially this time of year, to be careful and make sure that if you do invite people, that they know that that does put our nonprofit status in jeopardy if we allowed that. So
because my mind immediately went to the worst case scenario where he's like, what he's putting in the buckets is like a campaign button, right? I knew he probably wasn't.
You should wear this button
right. Like,
while you're trick-or-treating.
Exactly. Like, not that I actually thought he was going to do that, but I was like, well, what if?
You never know. You never know.
So I was just like, I got to cover my bases. And just said it, because I have his number, because I,
Well, and even when
text
you
him
think
about
people
things.
know the rules, I think it's always good to just make sure. So good reminder this time of year. So yeah. So Amy, tell us kind of what you do. Like what is a resolution specialist?
That's a really good question that I only learned the answer to like within the last few months. Like I
On the job training.
100%. Like I initially signed up to do something else, and I got a phone call over the summer. Like on my way, like we were driving to the port to get on a cruise, and I got a phone call. And I was like, so we actually have someone for that position that we like, but we'd like you to do this position, this resolutions specialist. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I started reading whatever, and I was like, I'm not sure I've ever even read a full resolution. So I definitely am jumping in the deep end, but I have come to absolutely love it. So a resolution is, if you don't know what a resolution is, it is the documents that we use as Utah PTA in our advocacy. So in order to take a position on a bill, we have to have agreed as an organization that we think one way or the other. And the resolutions are research-based documents that we vote on at advocacy conference and at convention, that basically everyone has a chance to vote and give input on them at those two events. That says we think this because of this research. Actually, it's the other way around. It's because of this research we think this. And they're very specific in how they're written. So I'm still learning about that kind of stuff. But basically, the other things I do is those also the research has to be within 7 years for them to be
Up to date. We can still use old resolutions, but we'd really prefer them all to be up to date, which they're not. So that's part of my job, is to figure out which ones are not up to date and help the commissioners update them. Yep.
So.
And she's doing a great job.
Yeah, I know Angelique just updated one of hers.
Yep.
I have one that needs to be updated. If anyone wants to come help me.
And that's the other thing that I'm working on doing this year, that is finding more work groups and finding people to help be involved on some of the resolutions. Because there were several commissioners that told me that they're like, we don't have any expired resolutions. We don't have any resolutions. And I'm like, actually, you all have resolutions, and everybody has at least one that's expired.
Yeah.
So let's update them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a lot, some of us have a lot.
Right. I don't have as many. I know.
I think you only have 2, right?
I think I have 6 or 7, actually.
Yes. And then you have 2, well, you have 1.5.
One,
expired.
yeah.
January, you'll have 2.
Oh, I was like, what do you mean 1.5? Only part of it is wrong.
Well, January, all of your orange ones will turn red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we're just worried about your more red ones right now. So I did make a master spreadsheet at the beginning of the year, and my husband was like, can I help you format this, because I can make this magic. So this is why you only have commenter access on my spreadsheet. Because come January 1st, everything that's 7 years as of January 1st, because we just do the year, will flip to red on my spreadsheet, and everything that's at 6 years will flip to yellow.
I want to open it up at midnight and
do it.
I know, see what happens. 12:01.
this is going to be so cool, everyone. They're like, oh boy.
I may act I may actually do that. We'll see if I actually because I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just help everyone keep organized with the resolutions and kind of hassle you all and be like, hey, don't forget to work on resolutions, especially right now, because we had advocacy conference that everyone was like, I'm working on that. I was like, I get it, me too. And then once the session starts, we won't have time. And so I'm working on helping everyone decide on a priority right now.
Yeah.
I met with Mindy, the student leadership commissioner, yesterday, and we decided that she was going to ask her committee if they wanted to help. And I was like, that'll be real fun. So I might
and
make an
especially because
appearance
she's
in
got
that.
those students on the committee. Talk about awesome training for them.
Right.
That's fantastic.
So she's going to take it to her committee first. So I do plan on like, hey, and I might show up at that committee and help and let them do it. That'll be fun. I'm kind of excited.
Well, and they
about
actually have access to way more research than we do because they're
Right.
students. Like
the students you can get free.
Right.
they can get all the
That is-
scholarly stuff.
That is one of the hardest parts. And like, I've been trying to update all of the material because like all of the resolutions have links in them to what was referenced, and a lot of those links don't work.
Oh, yeah.
And so some of them are in paper documents in a file cabinet somewhere in this building that I need to actually go look at to see. Like there's one resolution in the Safety Commission that has no references at the bottom of it.
Oh.
Well, and I'm guessing it's all in that drawer because it used to be that they printed out physical copies. And then I've started a Google Docs folder that just is, I'm like everything. So everything from the one that you just did for Advocacy Conference, I printed to a PDF and put in the
So that
in the
that
folder.
information is there should the links not be there.
Yeah, so the links don't have to work because we will still have access to the stuff.
I mean, we want the links to work, but
But like we're not always in control of if the links work.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
This is true.
For sure.
This is very true. Well, and if they don't have access to like a scholarly, they don't have a subscription or whatever, they may not be able to access all of it. I know you can get the summary a lot of times.
The abstract, yeah.
The abstract, that's what it is. I'm like, what is it called? The abstract. So you can get a little bit of it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think it's been really neat to see you kind of come into your own, into the position. And I feel like you really did just embrace it from the beginning and just like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to figure this out. And I'm excited, I think.
Well, and I didn't get much onboarding, which really was stressing me out at the beginning. But I feel like in the end it's really helped because I've just been able to, like, what is this position? Make it up as you go along. And I think it's been helpful, and I've been able to kind of make it my own thing. Because I know my predecessor had way more experience writing resolutions. And so that's where she focused her time, was helping actually write them. Whereas I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Y'all write them. I'll help you stay organized.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, and some of us are still learning. I mean, I've helped write one resolution, and I think it's valuable. I think if you get the opportunity, if there's something that you're passionate about and you want to help, I think it's a valuable opportunity.
Yes, for sure. Especially if there is something you're passionate about, like we can write a resolution about anything. Especially that is research based. So if you are interested, reach out to me or the commissioner over that area. And for example, I had someone reach out. It was kind of funny. I got an email from Amber Bonner, our education commissioner, saying, hey, this person wants to work on a resolution on unfunded mandates. And then I was looking at the name, and it said Courtney, and then their last name. And I was like, well, I know a Court. And then his email was Court, and our children dance on the same dance team.
Oh, that's
awesome.
That's
That's
so
a fun
cool.
connection.
So I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, I'm happy to work with him on that.
That's awesome.
I actually checked in with him yesterday at dance. I was like, hey, you were going to work on that. Did you make any progress?
Yeah.
Because you can't get far from me because our kids love each other. So.
Well, and I think that's a good point that you bring up about the locals, bringing those ideas, because you're there right in the thick of things. You have that. You see where the needs are that sometimes we don't see.
And we do have one that came from a local that we're kind of working on. It's kind of on the back burner a little bit because there is a national resolution. So when we're doing our advocacy, we can also use the resolutions from national. Like, it would be great to have a Utah PTA resolution, but there's also like 20 bajillion other things we're trying to get done. So, but on lunchtimes, and that came completely from a local person that was really into advocating about that. She's made some actual real progress on that advocacy work. And we're excited that we get to support her and that we can use our national resolution. So that's another piece that I learned, that there is national resolutions.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for the session. Like, I'm a little scared. But I'm excited to like figure out how we really use them. Like I know we use them, and because I've been on LAC for several years, but I'm excited to help. Like, oh, this is where we use the resolutions, and I've kind of started calling them the backbone of the advocacy work. Because without a resolution,
it is.
We can't take a stance on anything.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it is hard when a bill comes up and you're like, what do we have? You know, we know that this is really, really good or maybe really, really bad. And, you know, you're searching through those resolutions to find things just because we really want to make sure that our public education is protected and our kids are.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure we define LAC. So that's our Legislative Advocacy Committee. And that's where we discuss bills and legislation and what our commissioners are doing.
And LAC is the organization that, or the committee, is it a committee? Mm-hmm. Okay. So they vote, like it's in LAC that we vote on whether we're in support or we're going to support or oppose a bill, and then it has to be ratified. Is that the right word?
Yep.
Ratified by our executive board or committee. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So so if you want to be involved in that,
and we really are going to try to use some of our LAC people a little more with resolutions this year. Because I was talking the other day with Christina and Julie Clough about like, hey, how do we find people to help on resolutions? And I was talking about how I ended up here was because I got on LAC. Someone told me about LAC and I loved it. And I spent the whole time that I was just a member of LAC, just a member, going like, how do I do more? I want to do more. I want to do more. And then I ended up going to the Leadership Academy. And then I was like, I want to do more. I want to do more. So now I do more.
Well, that's good to remind us that like these people, there are people that do want to help with the work and we're not utilizing them and we need to be.
Well, and LAC is how we kind of got to know you. Yeah. And thought that you would be great at resolutions. Like
right. And that's the funny thing is like you all like LAC's got like 40 people on it. And when you have no idea who any of these people are, and then all of a sudden, like, you're here, and they all know who you are.
But we didn't really, like, know you. We knew of you. We'd heard you speak before. And we just knew, like, we felt good about it. You know, it's kind of funny because we were, like, involved in that conversation.
Yeah. Like, I've known Carol Rednar for several years because she was my region director. So that made me feel comfortable. Like, oh, I like Carol. I like to work with Carol. And I also, so the funny part is...
Carol is our secretary.
Oh, yes. The funny part is resolution specialists, like there's two types of specialists. There's ones that are on the advocacy team, and then there's ones that fall under the executive committee. And I was like, I don't want to be on the executive. Like, I'm not ready to do that much. And so I very specifically signed up to only do, like, because there was a question on the application, like, what other things would you be willing to do? And I was like, nothing on the executive committee.
Like, none of these.
And then I'm like, whoa, this was a lot more work than I thought it was. The hardest part has been that resolutions meetings, not during the session, is scheduled for the exact same time as my community council. Not my community council. That was what I just came from. Sorry. My council meeting. And I'm council president as well. And so I haven't, like, balancing that has been kind of hard. But, it seems to have worked. Like, the last two resolution meetings, I just, like, said hi. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go. And then I'm having my treasurer run my meeting this next week, so.
Yeah, that's a hard one. And it's hard when dates are already set. And
and I didn't know the dates of the resolution meetings when I said yes, because...
They probably weren't set in stone yet.
Well, apparently they've always been the fourth Thursday, or not Thursday, Wednesday. But then when the session starts... But when the session starts, resolutions is on Tuesday, so...
Yeah.
Like, this will be the last... Well, this one next week, and then there's one at the end of the year that conflicts. Because my council doesn't have meetings in November or December, because for some reason the fourth Wednesday doesn't work those months.
Oh, I wonder why. Maybe a holiday or something.
And I get one time. I don't get to pick when my council meetings are, because my council meetings are when my principals can come. And
so we feel that we're both council presidents, so we totally understand that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I did get a president-elect though, so for
Nice.
next
Good
year.
for
Nice.
you. Yeah.
I-
It's hard. It's hard
That
to
would be
do.
nice.
Yeah.
I told my nominating committee they couldn't find anybody else if they didn't find a president-elect. I was like, I don't care about any of the other positions.
Just find that.
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of work.
It is.
Right.
You know?
It is.
I love it though.
Yeah, it's so great. I'm actually sad to leave the council, but I feel like sometimes my focus is pulled in a lot of different directions,
Exactly.
and I
That's
want it
what's
to
hard
just
for
be
me.
yeah, just be pulled in a couple different directions.
Yeah.
I feel a little bad for my local president because, like, I was like, you get one more year of me 110% in local, and then I'm going to potentially do some more. And then I just did this thing that I thought was light. Like I said, I was like, I thought it was like a light position. It's not. And so I feel a little bad because I was like, yeah. But I'm still, because it's really just her and I on our local level. And we're still making it work. But I feel like she's got to find
We need more
we
PTA
need more
people. We need
Yeah.
more. Join PTA.
Right.
Join at, or
Volunteer.
UtahPTA.org/join.
Yeah.
Like, we need more. Well, we got to reach our goal, our 100,000 membership goal. Is that this year's or next year's?
So that's
I think this
actually-
year's is 80.
this year-
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year's goal is 100,000, but we talked about this on a previous podcast, but we can't get there if we don't increase our membership this year.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
think it's somewhere like 80 this year
Yeah.
because
I
I'm
think
on
we
the membership
decided on
committee
80.
now
Yeah,
too.
I do. I think we said 80.
You should both know then if you're both on the
I'm pretty sure it
No,
was 80.
that was the other thing that I was like, oh, I've got to join other committees too. I was just signing up to do one job.
But I think it's so great. You
Yeah.
learn so much serving on those other committees and, you know, seeing the work that's going on. I think I almost wish that, like, each local could take an opportunity to just come and, like, be a fly on the wall or sit on, well, they can be on these committees, actually.
Mhm, yeah.
Like, I think it would be valuable for them to take that opportunity because there's so much that you learn about what is going on that I remember as a local, I had no idea. I was completely clueless as to all the work that's going on and the amazing things that are being done.
And it's been really interesting being a council president too, because I just like my region director and I will both sit in the same board of directors meeting and get two different things. And like I'm on the advocacy team, and so I'm getting all the advocacy stuff, everything. And so we'll be sitting in like our region meeting, and we have a fabulous advocacy VP. But it was like a simple thing, like she had, I don't know where she got the date for advocacy conference, but we were sitting in region meeting. I'm like, that's not when that is. That's not where it is. Where it's definitely not there. So don't go there at that time, please.
I'm like, don't pass that flyer around.
And I just realized that I'm like, oh, I'm getting different things, and my council is getting way more advocacy than I think they even want.
I think that same way about my council. They're probably like, stop it.
Especially with this amendments stuff, I'm like, guys, Amendment A's out, Amendment D's out, or Amendment D's out, Amendment A's out. Be his best, be his best. Mm-hmm. And I think most of them are like, okay, we get it.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so before our podcast, I was trying to find an image like that talked about PTA resolutions or whatever, and I couldn't actually find an image, but I just found this really cool resolution. It's from what city is it from? I don't know what city it's from. But it's from October 16th, 1962, and it's from Angels School, and it's a PTA resolution about a new elementary school.
Wow.
That's so cool. And it's just this, it's like a newspaper article from Ann Arbor District. Where's that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I've never heard of this. Is it a Utah PTA or is it
No.
just PTA? So I don't. So the fact that we don't know that district is not.
Yeah, but it doesn't, let's see. Ann Arbor News.
I don't know.
But it was October 16th, 1962, and it was on a
Ann
Tuesday.
Arbor is a town in Michigan.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Fun time.
Based on some other things on this page. But that's really cool. Like, they were making a resolution of something that was, like, needed,
Right.
you know?
And that's really how like when we talk about the history of Utah PTA and PTA in general, like that's really how it started.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of fun, as much as we really need to update some of these resolutions. But we do have some resolutions that are still active that have not been retired. I think our oldest one is from 1990 now, but we just retired some from the 80s.
So do you want to explain kind of what you mean by retiring?
Oh, yes. So as I mentioned before, we want the data to be within 7 years. So once we've replaced it or updated, so there's two ways that we can retire a resolution. We either retire it because it's been replaced, or I guess there's 3 ways. Well, the other way is not retiring it. So to retire a resolution, there's kind of 2 main reasons. It's because it's been replaced. So like the Family Life one that we just passed at Advocacy Conference replaced one from 2013. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And so I just went and marked that as retired on the website. And then because it was updated by that resolution. And it also couldn't be retired because the resolution has been accomplished. Like we just retired a few in the Health Commission because like one was about needing bleeding kits in schools or something like that. And we retired it because the laws were passed that were needed, and we have the kits in school now, so we don't need that resolution.
Yeah.
And so the other way that we make them more recent is by just updating. So there's 2 sections of a resolution. There's the whereas and the resolved. The whereas statements are where the research goes, and then the resolved is like what Utah PTA is going to do. If we are just updating the whereas statements, then we just vote on it as a board of directors. And then if we're updating the resolve, like we're saying Utah PTA is going to do something different about this, then we vote on it as a general membership. And that's kind of what happened with the Family Life one that we just voted on. They went to update it, and we're like, yeah, we'll just update the whereases and update the research. And then as they read more of the research, they're like, actually,
we'll just update the whole thing.
Let's just update the whole thing. And then they did some great work and updated the whole thing. And
I feel like with the resolutions that we're going to be working on, I think that's probably going to happen more often than not.
Yeah.
Just because they're not like super old, but they're old enough that there's better research, but better ways of wording things and different actions we can take. Because I felt like the Family Life resolution was fine. Like, it was fine. But we could make it so it could be great.
So what you're saying is we're going to need a really long business meeting because you have a lot of resolutions.
Yeah.
Be ready for it at convention, guys.
27 resolutions.
Awesome. That would make me so happy.
Maybe we'll have brownies.
I don't know if I can cook that many brownies.
Well, we'll just get the convention center to provide brownies.
For real.
I'm
Oh my
sure
gosh.
it's in the budget.
We'll put it in the budget. We're on the convention committee.
In the budget. We will if we have lots of resolutions to pass, we'll figure out a way to do brownies.
That's
all
what the
your
prizes are for.
Oh yeah.
Can I tell them that story? I'm going to tell them that story.
I hope someone thinks it's funny. Like,
Okay,
I know. I felt like it did not translate well when we were
So we'll put it this way. When you get onboarded onto the board of directors, it's like a fire hose. And it's like, here, come to this board of directors meeting and help with convention. Which also means that all of a sudden you don't get qualified for prizes, which I felt was like a little lame. Like, I'm not even technically on the board yet, and I don't get prizes. I felt that was a little lame. But you do get to stay at the hotel. And so I was like, my roommate went to bed, and I was like, it's like 9 o'clock. I'm not going to bed.
You need a different roommate this year.
I love my roommate, but we our sleep schedules were not compatible. And so I was just like, it was good that I knew Carol. Like, I felt like a little puppy dog to Carol after. Because I knew that she was busy. Like, she's the Utah PTA secretary. She had stuff to be doing. And our region was even in charge of the boutique. So, like, my region director was, like, setting that up. So it was, like, busy the first night. So the first night I, was like, I guess I'll go to bed. And then, laid there, not asleep. But I had said I was going to go to bed. And so I just, laid there for,
you should have came down to the bar where we were doing karaoke.
Well, that was the next night.
Oh, okay.
No one was doing anything. And, Because I wasn't actually on the board of directors yet. I wasn't in any of the group chats.
Oh, so you didn't know about...
And so I didn't know what was going on. And I did go downstairs because someone said there was going to be games, and I meandered around. Oh, no, it was the first night we did karaoke.
Was it? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Was
the
it the
first
night
night
you
was
went and got prizes? Cause
That was the second night.
It was the first night, but we only did karaoke for like a half hour. And it was fun, but then like nothing was happening after the karaoke.
It's true.
And that's when I was like, I guess I'm going to go to bed, and then did not sleep. But that was okay. And then the next night we went out to dinner, and I came back with Carol. Like we went to the place that's right across the street from the convention center, and we're sitting there and we're just chatting away, and I'm getting to know a couple of the people, and I'm talking to Carol about our area, and because Carol's really the one that got me to be council president and did all those things. So
it's Carol's fault.
it is Carol's fault.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It is Carol's fault. You can
Gotcha.
100% blame Carol. And these two ladies come walking in, like, giggling. And
We're just never giggling. I have no idea what she's doing.
What?
When Kim and I never do that together. Mm-mm.
No.
Never.
And they're like, oh my gosh, we just bought a kayak. And we're just like, what is happening? And they're like, we bought the prizes for tomorrow. And there was this giant jar of pickles, and it dropped, and there was pickles all over the parking lot. I hope they don't mind. There's pickles all over the parking lot. And they were like devastated about these pickles.
It still makes me sad to this
jar
day.
was huge. It was like...
And it was like the giant pickles inside. Like,
I swear it was like this.
it was so big. And it was
So
like
big.
in a random part of the store.
And
Like, it was not in the pickle
I know.
section.
No, it wasn't.
And they just had
Well, I think
clearly
it was
had.
in the like bulk. You know, and they have like the bulk section in the store.
Oh, yeah. That's probably where it was.
And they just like came in and were like, we got a kayak and the pickles, and like just laughing. I was like, yes, this is what I'm here for, because this is my kind of people. Like, let's go shopping at 10 o'clock at night to buy prizes. Yes, I'm here for it. And I don't know why we got started on that conversation, but we did.
It's
Well,
fun to be on the state board.
It
It
really
is.
You
is.
should try it.
Well, and was that the same night you were making the sashes too?
No.
No, I think
that
that
was
was
the
the
night
night before.
before.
And I think that must be what happened after the karaoke.
Yes.
Because it was like, make these
Yes.
sashes, and like, what is happening? I'm just going to go to
Yes.
bed. And I don't know what we're talking about by sashes.
So we made sash.
Sassy. We are pretty sassy too.
Yeah, that we are. We made these commissioner sash. These things that you wear.
Maybe we just need to end it.
And Cammie still had a few that she wanted to make, and I was like, I gotta go to bed. Like, I am so tired. And she worked on them with a couple people in my room while I just
Sherry and I.
slept.
Yeah, we were like laying things on top of her in the bed.
Nice.
'Cause we needed
Maybe
a
I should have
table
come to help with the
So, yeah.
sashes.
I know. Next time I'm calling you, Amy.
Oh, you know.
Well, now we
Guaranteed.
know Amy, so
We're not making sashes. We're not doing anything. I always say this, and it's a lie. But we're not doing anything at convention. It's all going to be ready in advance.
Well, I mean, that was the plan.
Yeah.
We've all also learned that I don't do meetings past noon. Like, what was it? Was it the resolutions retreat that everyone went for a walk? And I did not go for a walk. And I had just like sat down on the couch and like really gotten comfortable. And then everyone walked back in. And the meeting started back up, and I was out, man.
We just let her sleep.
We did let
It was
her
fine.
sleep. We could have woken her up,
And
but
there was it was the board of directors meeting, like it was the first one, and I fell asleep again.
And we looked over and we're like, Amy's asleep.
I'm like, look, if you have me at a meeting in the morning, Pat, and then feed me lunch, I'm gonna fall asleep. Wake me up.
okay. Well, so we've learned that it's very fun to serve
Right.
with us, and you want to help with our resolutions because it's really fun.
Right.
It's
Yep.
really fun.
PTA
really
is
is.
fun.
It is
It
so
is fun.
fun.
And I think you make fun friendships too. I think
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite part.
Yes, PTA is so fun. So, anything
I know.
else you want to talk about with resolutions? I feel like you covered so much, so many great
I
things.
feel like I was just like talking about random stuff, but I'm glad that
We do random here. It's so
it's
fun.
true.
I mean-
I do. If you want to get involved in resolutions work, we'd love to have you.
Yes, we definitely
We're
would.
working on... I should have brought my list. That would have been a real good idea. Actually, I put it in a spreadsheet. I put it in the master spreadsheet because I was smart. I know the education committee is working on commission. That's the word I was looking for. Is right now we're working on an unfunded mandate position statement so that we can use it for
That's great.
the session. They also are working on updating their community schools one. Health has a lot of resolutions that they want to make progress on that they would love some help on. They are working on an environmental rights one. That one was in the program at last year's convention, but it still needed some work. So if you are interested in helping find good, solid research dealing with environment, that is definitely one we would love some help on. Health is also working on one dealing with bullying. They want to update their bullying resolution to include cyberbullying because currently it doesn't, and that's kind of an important.
Yeah, that's really
that is a
important.
good
And then our lovely community engagement commissioner is working on partisan politics and redistricting, which is going to be important.
Yeah, that one is a big one.
So having that updated would be fabulous. And homelessness and transiency. And then family life is working on child abuse and neglect. And it's safety working on bullying, not health. That would make sense. That would make more sense. I can read my own spreadsheets. And then education is working on also a resolution potentially for local control. They did put that, we did have that in our, the statements that y'all wrote.
Oh, it's in the
Legislative
Oh,
priorities.
yes,
Yeah,
those things. The legislative priorities. It is in there, so we're not, like, that's not top priority because it's in there so we can use it. But if any of those things, like, are like, oh, yeah, I'm really passionate about that, or even if you just want to spend 30 minutes looking for some research,
Yeah.
we would
You
love
go
your
down
help.
a rabbit hole. I'm just warning you right now.
Yeah, I'm like,
You start looking and you just like deep dive more and more and more. It's kind of fun though. You'll learn a lot. It's very educational.
But if that's something that sounds good to you, and especially if you are like currently attending college and have access to like all the scholarly article things, we'd love your help.
yeah, for real.
Like obviously you're real busy because you're also going to college, but
Well, maybe you can make it rather than like opening up an app and playing a game, like make it into a game. Like I
Right.
want to find 3 articles
About-
this,
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, you can always reach me at resolutions@utahpta.org. I do check my email, like it notifies me.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I do know when I was done with the research for mine, I never wanted to look at it again. I was like
Right.
so tired of looking at research, and I was like,
well, and
did I
got-
put this with this or with this or with this? Like,
And I got real picky, like which we are being picky. That is something
which
that
is fine.
Christina and I have talked about is news articles that are not research. Blog posts are not research. Blog posts about research are not research. Let's use the actual research. And so that was one of the our fun times was finding
Yeah.
direct sources, which is hard when you don't have access to everything. So that is something that we're looking into is is there a way we can get access, like for at least one person to,
Yeah,
is it worth paying for access somewhere?
Probably.
for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I always love hanging out with you guys. Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome anytime.
I know we're gonna now. Just wait. You're getting those late night texts.
Well, what time was that meeting at? Like that meeting ended at like 11 p.m. Like we started it at 9 o'clock, and then it was like 2 hours later. I was like, we gotta go to bed. But also, this meeting is tomorrow, so
Yeah, for real. That was so late. Okay, you
we're
guys.
trying to avoid that.
My daughter commented about how I say for real now, and now every time I say it, I'm like subconscious. I said it again. Children.
For
All right.
real.
Well, we will see you guys on the next episode. Check us out.